August 2021. Watch this one. Let's see if you can understand what this means. Now, is this straight up flat like Intel, or is this like an overlay? Is this state? Is this countryman? Is this UK? Is this America? It's a little confusing.
With a sex offender, it's not like you can medicate that away or
Look,
cancel it away.
pregnancy after males left in females' prison. We're talking about Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361, with that Levittown piece of shit, Jason Peter Romer, that raped me, 1976 guy. That one? But, oh, wait a minute. So, you shitbags wrote laws for other people's children that don't fucking matter. I have a UK over an American case. I'm a Russian fighter jet that crash landed through some woman's vagina. It's a totally alienation. I'm a Brussels sprout with an artichoke issue. I'm not human. I don't fit into any of your closets categories or crushing sense of we're one. So, there's a totally different situation going on for me. So now I'm just curious. So this pregnancy after the males if this Bayside Station where I arrived in 1978, a Centurion. So I had two Americans that knew nothing, but are UK genetic lineage. And then all of a sudden, like, nobody thinks my education or anything's important while you're trying to build this theoretical United States of America. So you all pass some stupid fucking laws for some kids that don't fucking matter. And now all of a sudden, you're afraid of discrimination against what? Jason being the American? Your only fucking job is to make sure that my twat doesn't pop out more Americans. I'm a fucking Russian fighter jet. I don't belong in anything human. I belong to alien nation like Austria. Are we clear? I mean, I'm a Brussels sprout with an artichoke issue. Where did you in Air Force and Navy and Army and arms and legs and cradles of doesn't fucking matter? Where did you think writing all these shitbag laws? Like, you were supposed to hold the other kids down so this way we could fix shit. Instead, what you did was make shit worse. And push someone else's agenda by being so dumb, fucking useless, and then arrogant.
On the prisons, since the policy was made law by California politicians. She said some of the legislators were trying to protect transgender.
Transgender. Now, transgender, it's not like Bruce Jenner, born with a penis and then wanted it chopped off and to wear heels and makeup and run around like a weirdo. No, this actually has a meaning somewhere between the Air Force, the Navy, the Army, and myself. Alien problem in a big way to do with an artichoke and my one little Brussels sprout that seems to be picked off the wrong vine and thrown in someone else's field. And I need the right farmer that doesn't seem to exist anywhere in the local area.
Your individuals.
But, you know, the solution to men being victimized in men's prisons is not to change who the victims are. It's not to...
Like, this is what happens when you try to explain it to, like, big crowds of, like, they're fucking confused.
We're not clownfish, we're not frogs. We are born how we're born. And
whatever the fuck clownfish and frogs are associated with, in an anemone of, like, what?
I think that we need to remember that we're not housing identities, we're housing people.
She says for the most part, there's been silence over what's now taking place in the prisons. Likely, she says, because many people are afraid of taking a position and being called...
Is this what prison looks like in America? Because I haven't seen this at all. This is what they're pumping in, but it ain't what's real. I will say, however, that it had, oh look, it's like dancing with the stars at the bottom. It's like it's trying to get, like, oh, no, there we go. Look at that.
By 2024, is not likely to happen because of spacesuit development delays. NASA's Inspector General says they won't be ready until April 2025 at the earliest. NASA has spent more than $1 billion on the new spacesuits for the Artemis program. It blames the delays on funding issues, COVID-19, and technical changes. There are 27 different companies supplying components for the suits. SpaceX's Elon Musk responded to the report saying SpaceX could do it if need be.
Spacesuits, like, are these the dumb fucking useless children that are so arrogant and think they won some contest while the rest of us are actually in the fucking prison in some death sentence because the kids across the way are fucking confused because the shitbags that want to get in those little, like, self-air conditioned suits and have a breathing apparatus, right, are a real fucking shit show to deal with.
In April, SpaceX won the nearly $3 billion contract to develop the lunar lander for the program. Northrop Grumman is making another supply run to the International
I thought they
Space
closed.
Station. The speedy special delivery includes pizza among the fresh produce and scientific equipment.
We had a Northrop Grumman where Jason Peter Romer's grandfather, Hardy Lee Bailey, the good-looking side of the genetic family before it married some whatever, and then whatever, came out looking like frogs and weird Levittown people. Alright, so now, Long Island, they closed Grumman. Just so we're fucking clear, somewhere in, like, before I arrived.
Rocketed away from Virginia's eastern shore Tuesday. It should reach the International Space Station on Thursday. The 8,200-pound
pizza! Oh my god, wait a minute. You're gonna deliver pizza via a rocket to the guys at the space station. Right, you can't get a fucking Austrian-looking gorgeous something in a fucking plane with a tail fin number in New York to get me for the last 42 fucking years. But you can deliver pizza to the guys at the space station. What the fuck are you all alive for? If you drop the fucking space station straight out of the fucking sky and it just lands on whatever the fuck it lands on, nobody's gonna fucking cry or give a shit.
Tomatoes and kiwi, along with a pizza kit and a cheese smorgasbord for the 7 astronauts. Also flying to the space station is a mounting bracket for solar wings, a material simulating moon and dirt and dust.
Why?
Slime mold,
Who gives a
and
fuck?
infrared detecting device. It's Northrop Grumman's
The self-indulgent humans really are very deserving to die. There's a bigger fucking issue that nobody's addressing in the categories that are taking up all the money, time, and, like, confusing all the rest.
The Canadian Prime Minister says the sentencing is unacceptable and unjust.
I have no idea how that fucking works.
Case of human anthrax infection in 10 years.
I mean, it's clear as fucking bell. Who's to blame? I didn't really think his face was one of them. But then again, I don't know the whole story, so I wouldn't take the liberty to say.
Canada's Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, said a Chinese court sentencing of Canadian businessman Michael Spavor was unacceptable. Spavor was sentenced to 11 years in prison for espionage. Trudeau is calling for his immediate release.
A Chinese court convicted Canadian businessman Michael Spavor.
This doesn't even make our evening news. Like, the American dark-skinned shitbag kids, like, they're all like, oh my god, there's gonna be, like, a race in Central Park on Tuesday night, and, like, I mean, that's what they talk about. Like, anything like this, they're not talking about it. I mean, maybe quietly they'll update one another, but again, I'm alienation. I'm not part of this fucking humanization America. It's fucking gross, and I'm just waiting on rescue from, like, handsome Austrian somewhere else. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's August, what day is today? The 11th, 2021.